Today, I want to talk about how the DTCC is preparing for massive MOASS-related losses, as they've just created a plan to recover or to wind down the entire DTCC. I also want to talk about how MULN has just received a delisting notice, but has filed an appeal suggesting the only reason their share price is so low is due to the illegal manipulation. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I'll dive straight in with the key information. So, MULN USA tweeted saying MULN Automotive has received a delisting determination from the NASDAQ for its failure to maintain a minimum $1 share price requirement, saying MULN has requested a hearing staying any delisting or suspension action pending the issuance of a final decision. On its website, they've said MULN Automotive today announced that it received a letter from the Listings Qualification Department of the NASDAQ indicating the company did not meet the staff's September 5th deadline to regain compliance with NASDAQ listing 5550. This was due to the company's failure to maintain a minimum bid price of $1 per share in a 90-day window. And on September 6th, the company requested a hearing before the NASDAQ to request a further extension of time and to present its plan to regain compliance with that NASDAQ listing. And had the company not requested that hearing, it would have been subject of delisting on September 15th. Now, this is actually really important. You may remember last week, MULN filed a lawsuit against a number of brokers and trading platforms for effectively manipulating its share price. The reason why MULN has sued these brokers like TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab and not market makers directly like Citadel is because it's the brokers and trading platforms that facilitate the sale of synthetic shares. The market makers like Citadel help create the synthetic share or the synthetic short sale in the first place by allowing hedge funds to short shares that cannot be located. But obviously for a hedge fund to short or to synthetically short a share, they have to be shorting them to someone. And that's where the brokers and trading platforms come in. Yes, it's the market makers and the hedge funds, that team duo, that create the synthetic short sale share, but obviously it's sold through a trading platform to a retail investor. And therefore, without the brokers or trading platforms' involvement, this business of creating synthetic shares would be pointless because they couldn't synthetically short them to anyone. Because obviously to sell a share into the market, whether it's a real share or a synthetic share, you need someone on the other end of the trade to buy that share. And therefore, if these brokers and trading platforms are sued and forced to stop all illegal activity, share prices in companies like MULN and AMC would no longer fall, because these market makers and hedge funds would have no one to short the shares to, and therefore trades would not complete. And therefore share prices would no longer go down if there's no trades happening. I guess for the meantime, MULN USA won't be delisted because of this lawsuit that's going on against the brokers and the trading platforms. Because I guess a final decision cannot be made until the outcome of the lawsuit is determined. Because I guess if these brokers and trading platforms have been found to manipulate MULN's share price or to have had involvement in manipulating MULN's share price, then the share price has fallen unfairly below $1 per share. And therefore, because it was manipulated, not fell naturally, MULN should not be delisted. As I've said previously, it will be very interesting to keep an eye on this lawsuit to see what happens and to see if these brokers and trading platforms are finally found guilty of their crimes. You can currently get a guaranteed free share of Tesla or of Google and up to 15 free shares on top of that, which you could always use to buy more shares of AMC or of GameStop. All you have to do is sign up to Moomoo using the link in the description below and make the required qualifying temporary deposit. Signing up to Moomoo is free and it's easy, it just requires that temporary deposit and it's a really great way to help support my channel. And on top of that, Moomoo is very easy to use. They've got tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools and their own options trading platform. And this is also why I think the AMC reverse split was actually a good thing. Now, just quickly, I think you have to differentiate between the reverse split and dilution. I've always been against dilution. I was against it yesterday. I was against it last week. I was against it a few months ago. I was against it in 2022 and back in 2021. As I said in my video yesterday, I don't think dilution is good for the mother of all short squeezes because every new share created is one less synthetic share in existence. But obviously I did also say that it is very good for a short squeeze because it massively improves the fundamentals of the company and helps it on its way to paying down debt and generating billions of dollars in revenue and billions of dollars in profits. But remember, the reverse split is something completely different. The reverse split is not dilution. The reverse split just made shares harder to find. It made it harder for these market makers to locate shares, and it also increased the share price. And the reason why I think this is important is because, as Stonks Batman tweeted, if AMC didn't do a reverse split, it would be trading under $1 per share, just like MULN is, and could be warned of delisting. Right now, AMC is trading between $7, $8 and $9 per share. Pre-split, that would have been less than $1 per share, and AMC would have received this delisting notice. AMC would be in the exact same position as MULN Automotive currently is, and would have received this delisting notification. And then all the shorts would have had to do is keep the AMC share price held down below $1 for a few weeks and a few months, and then the shorts would have won. But because of the reverse split, AMC share price is not below $1. The shorts have to work 10 times as hard to get it there, and as a result, AMC will not be delisted. As Stonks Batman said, people who dislike the reverse split won't mention that without it, AMC would have been below $1 per share and would have likely been delisted. But now the important part and the title of this video. Robert tweeted saying, "I would do this if the mother of all short squeezes was just around the corner." As you can see, both the DTC, the FICC and the NSCC have just created a plan for recovery and wind down. If we check out the executive summary, it says the recovery and wind down plan is maintained by the DTC for compliance with Rule 17 AD 22 E3II. And that requires registered clearing agencies to ensure, establish, implement and maintain plans for the recovery and orderly wind down of the covered clearing agency necessitated by credit losses, liquidity shortfalls, losses from general business risk, or any other losses. In case the DTC encounters scenarios that could potentially prevent it from being unable to provide its critical services, aka in case the DTC faces bankruptcy, they need a plan for recovery or for a wind down. Basically, if the DTC, the FICC, the NSCC and FINRA all suffer massive losses, whether it's due to a credit event, liquidity shortfalls, general business risks or any other losses, they need a plan to wind down the agency. So it seems the DTC is putting processes in place in case a massive giant credit loss happens in the very near future. Now, I also wanted to talk about this tweet, which proves it really is one rule for the hedge funds and another rule for us. Zero Hedge tweeted saying GameStop falls 5% after a report prepared by the SEC about how they're probing Ryan Cohen for his trades in Bed Bath & Beyond. Which, as James Rowland tweeted, he said that's funny because GameStop also had a 500% increase in put buying today, saying somebody clearly knew this news was coming, someone clearly knew Ryan Cohen was about to be investigated, and they took advantage of it with insider information. Somebody bought tons and tons of GameStop put options a day before this news was announced. So many put options that put options saw a 500% increase. As James said, maybe the SEC should investigate someone trading on insider information. And that someone probably shouldn't be Ryan Cohen, it should be whoever was making this giant put option trade just before negative news was announced. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.